was shooting, I heard Coach McGreen introduce me. I've known Joe for a while. I run an organization called Big Apple Basketball, and I heard him talking about some of that stuff that I do with Big Apple Basketball. And in addition, early this year, I got hired by MSG, and this past season, I spent some games doing analyst and sideline reporting work for the Westchester Knicks. So one of the things that I just like to do in general, as I'm sure most of you or most of the people who came up to speak during this week, I love the game of basketball. I'm 44 years old, and I still eat, sleep, drink it. Everything about my life revolves around basketball. So there's probably three things that I really want to emphasize with you during this next 45 minutes. And the reason why I asked Joe if you guys can have pen and paper or to use your phone, because I want to treat this like school. So if there's anything that I say that resonates with you, I want you to be able to take notes, because you may not remember everything, okay? I'm going to try to keep this as engaged as possible, because I don't want anybody falling asleep on me, because I remember what it used to be like to be a camper, especially after lunch. It's almost impossible for me to keep my eyes open. So usually what I like to do is I'll speak a little bit, but I want this to be interactive, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is working out and how to get better, okay? I train a lot of players, and one of the things that I notice in the game of basketball is that, especially now more than when I was growing up, and I grew up doing a lot of drills and working out, but if you really notice, a lot of people now work out. And what's the purpose of working out? And when I say work out, I mean like doing skills training for your game. What's the whole point of working out? Right here.
To get more comfortable with the game.
To get more comfortable with what? To get more comfortable with the game. Anything else? Right there. To get better. Right? You want to work out to get better. Okay? Well, what happens most of the time is that at your age, high school, college, pros, most of the time, guys work out their entire lives, but you never really see any change in their skill set. Guys might get older, might get physically more mature, but in reality, you spend all this time working out, but what happens in your game, like you might be in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, and whatever it is, it's almost like your game is just molded at that point. And then you can be a college player, and whatever your deficiencies were in 8th grade and 9th grade are probably still your deficiencies. But you spend all this time in the gym working out. Guys who always had trouble dribbling in junior high school probably are still in college now, still trying to work on their ball handle. Guys who could only shoot and just be spot-up shooters in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade, probably in college doing the same thing, just spot-up shooters. Guys who could always attack the basket and have trouble shooting, and they might spend hours in the gym. See them years later, still great at attacking the basket, but it's the same deficiency, but yet everybody works out. So I say, well, what's the point in doing all this working out if in reality, the only thing that's changing is that what you do well, you'll continue to get better at. And like I said, you'll get bigger, stronger, and because of your maturation, your game will improve in that capacity, but is your skill set really improving? So I'll tell you this story. My freshman year of college, I played at St. Michael's College, a Division II school in Vermont. I was a starting point guard as a freshman. College season is, let's just say, approximately 30 games. So not only was I a starter, but I probably played, in terms of guys on the team, I played some of the most minutes on the team. So it wasn't like I was starting and sitting. The entire season, my freshman year, I made 5 3-pointers. Not in the game, in the season. So now I'm getting over 30 minutes a game, and I made 5 3-pointers in the season. So if we do the math on that, that means maybe 1 out of every 6 games I was able to hit a 3. Which I'm sure would probably say, man, I wasn't a good shooter. It was pretty pathetic. It got to the point in the games where if I missed my first 2 shots, my coach was giving me the cutthroat sign. Because I couldn't shoot. And he obviously didn't have confidence in my shooting ability. So then because I knew that I wasn't making shots, my coach is telling me not to shoot. And what do you think it did to my confidence? I had no confidence in my own shot. I remember the first couple of shots of the game, I was shooting like the weight of the world was on my shoulder to prove that I could shoot every game. So instead of thinking about making this shot, I'm putting all types of additional pressure on myself because I know if I miss those first 2 shots, coach is going to start doing that. Now this isn't part of the story, but the irony to the story is that I wound up passing so much that I graduated as a college all-time assist leader. So I guess there is a silver lining to it. I shot 20% from 3 that year. So obviously now the season ends and you know what I want to work on. Work on my shooting. But I don't want to work on my shooting and go back and what? Next year I made 10 3-pointers? That summer I came home from college, I called one of the coaches who used to work me out throughout my youth. I got to the gym, ready to work out, just got home from college, I'm ready to get it in. Coach doesn't show up. So I'm slightly disappointed. I'm ready to work, so I go home. This again, from most of you probably can't believe this, but this was pre-cell phones. So I couldn't reach him. I don't know what happened. I go home, I speak to him that night. He apologizes, for not being there. All right, Jason, meet me back at the gym the next day, 5 o'clock. All right, great. Motivated. Get back to the gym the next day at 5 o'clock. Coach doesn't show up. Now I'm hungry to work on my game. And I got stood up twice in a row. From that point on, I vowed to myself to never let my training or my destiny and my success be in anybody else's hands. So it was never again going to be anybody that I'm going to rely on a rebound for me, to have a partner. Like, I just got burnt twice. And it hurt because this was an adult that I looked up to. And one of the things he always practiced and preached to us was calling if you're running late. And in so many ways, it really hurt me. So on that subway ride home, I did a lot of soul searching. So I'm hungry, I'm ready to get in the gym. I didn't have a good season shooting, and now I get home, and the coach who was like my mentor and role model doesn't show up to the gym 2 days in a row. That summer, I basically created my own workout. Me and my basketball. No shooting machine, no shooting gun, no partner, nobody. Me and my basketball. And I'll talk about in a second the format that I put together to get better. But I'll just leave you with this. In 2 years of me working on my game and my shooting in particular, I went from a guy who made 5 3-pointers as a freshman to being 9th in the country in 3-point field goal percentage. 24 months. There were only 8 people in the United States of America that shot better for me than 3. In 24 months. I was 15th in the country in free throw percentage. My junior year of college, I shot 48% from three. Now they say 40% is good. That's the bar. My last 3 years, I shot over 40. My next year I went back, I shot 42% as a sophomore, 48% as a junior, and in the mid-40s as a senior. And as a matter of fact, with about a month left in the season, my junior year, I was at 52%. So I actually dropped down to 48% because I wound up having to have surgery on my foot, which affected my shot. So I really, in reality, I was about 52% with a month left and dropped down to 48. So now when I watch guys work out, I say, man, like, how is it that you're really not improving? So again, I'll get into what I've created as a format that worked for me and worked for a lot of players that I work one-on-one with on any particular level that I've seen dramatic success.